Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley. Thanks for joining me today. In this month's edition of the newsletter, we're going to be working on some cards that move. And I'm going to be featuring some new products from the Essentials by Ellen line and this party bundle here that's been put together specifically kind of to coordinate with all the fun new products in the Essentials by Ellen line this December. I'm starting with a look at the 6x6 pad. This is the Pebbles Happy Hooray pad. This comes in the bundle. You can see I've already used some of it here, but I have lots to go around, and there are 2 sheets of every one of those patterns in there, and I really like that when they do that in a 6x6 pad. Now, the next 6x6 pad is actually the American Crafts glitter cardstock stack. And I don't have the whole stack, but here's a look at some of the kind of glitter papers that you get. You get a lot more colors in the stack. You also get some glassine, and I'm going to be using that in today's project. It's also perfect for that confetti flinger that was just released. This is one of my all-time favorites. This is the Sukanyeko Sparkle Shimmer Spritz. It's great for spraying onto projects to add a lot of shimmer. There's also these very shiny high sequins. These are like a flat sesame seed type sequin. And finally, the pearl colors from Gansai Tombi, and I love this color here. I'm going to use that in today's project as well. So you're going to see me pull in a lot of these products today, and I love working with a product bundle like this because it helps keep me focused if I'm just using those products, and I get a lot more out of my crafting time. So I'm starting out with the Bottles of Bubbly die set. This is from the Essentials by Ellen line, and I am going to cut this panel of Essentials by Ellen linen cardstock. I'm creating a shaker card. So this is the first card that moves. It's a shaker card. I'm also going to go ahead and cut this cork from some Die Cuts with a View craft cardstock. I cut a couple and I ended up losing the second one for my second project, which doesn't surprise me at all because I didn't put them in die cut prison. And to cut this glitter cardstock, I'm actually switching over to my precision base plate. So that takes the place of my bottom cutting pad. And then I'm using the Cheers die, which is also a part of this Bottle of Bubbly or Bottles of Bubbly die set from the Essentials by Ellen line. And I'm cutting this out of this black glitter cardstock. So now that I have my die cutting done, I can go ahead and work on assembling the card. I have this flipped over to the back, and I'm adding some tape runner adhesive all around the edge of my bottle so that I can adhere this glassine on the back side, and this is going to act as my shaker window. And glassine is a really good alternative for like vellum or clear acetate, so I'm using it as my kind of vellum in this instance. Now I've also taken my water brush here and I've gotten some of that pink color. It's actually called a red, but it's a beautiful pink to me. And I'm just kind of making little flicking motions here to simulate or to, I don't know, simulate. I don't know if that's the right word, but this is supposed to be the champagne shooting out of the top of the bottle. And I thought it would be cool to have the pink color because I don't drink. But if I did drink, I think it would be pink champagne. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's not that good. I don't know because I don't drink. But maybe you can tell me in the comments below. So now I'm just taking some of my foam adhesive. I've cut it down the middle in half to make it a little bit narrower. It makes it easier to work with around this kind of bottle shape here. And I'm putting foam adhesive all around the back side of this window on top of that glassine that I've created to kind of seal in all of my shaker guts. And for my shaker guts, I'm using the Pretty Pink Posh Sparkling Clear Confetti, and this is a mixture of sizes. And I thought this would coordinate well with this party bundle that I'm using today. So once I have that all ready to go, I am going to remove all the backer from all the foam adhesive that's on the back of this card front. And I am going to attach a piece of this kind of confetti-like pattern paper to the backside. So you're going to be able to see this through the window on the shaker card. And I thought that was a fun way to kind of back this window and kind of seal everything up. And then on the back of that pattern paper, I'm going to add some tape runner adhesive, and then I'm going to attach it to a Neenah Solar White 110-pound card base. Now this card base was cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and then scored at 5 1/2 to create a top folding A2 size card. And you can see how fun that is with all the little shaker bits kind of shaking around in there. And that's a fun way and an easy way to create movement on your card. Now you saw me attach my little cork with some foam adhesive there. And now I am using my Zig 2-way glue pen to add some adhesive to the back of this really fine sentiment die cut that says cheers. And I'm going to attach it onto this vellum banner here. And in order to kind of position it where I want it on the completed card, I'm going to hold the banner over the champagne bottle as I apply these. So I've cut this banner from vellum. This is from the Mama Elephant Tags a Lot set. You could use any shaped banner that you have. And then on the back side of this, I'm actually going to put some foam adhesive. Now I know that might seem crazy to you, but because I'm adhering this onto white, it's pretty well disguised behind that die cut sentiment. So I'm not too worried about it. You could always use a clear foam adhesive if you prefer. Now, I thought this champagne bottle needed a little bit more sparkle, so I'm taking the Stardust Stickles. I've started it on a piece of scratch paper so I didn't get any big explosion. And I'm just running the nozzle around the inside of that champagne bottle die cut shape to add a little bit of sparkle around the edge. And then I'm going to add some sparkle on top of that pearl watercolor that I added earlier too. And I just think that this was a great way to add just a touch more sparkle to this card because, you know, I can't live without my sparkle. So I've attached my sentiment here by just removing the backer from the foam adhesive, and then I attached it onto my card. And you can see I finished the card off with a few more of those confetti sequins there on the front of the card. So that was our first card that moves, and let's move on to our second. Now I'm die cutting this bottle once again from this green polka dot pattern paper because when I think of a champagne bottle, I think of green. I mean, maybe I'm crazy. Do they come in other colors? I'm not real sure. I'm also going to go ahead and die cut a strip of vellum because I just want this to be the same shape on the sides. I'm cutting it down to about 1 inch wide, and this is going to act as the label on the front of my champagne bottle. Now I'm just going to poke out the insides of this Cheers die cut. I cut it once again from the black glitter cardstock that I used earlier. And I thought that that label needed something to kind of set it apart off of that bottle. So I cut a really thin 1/8 inch strip of this gold glitter cardstock, and I'm just adhering it onto this little vellum strip here using my Zig 2-way glue pen. And then I'm just using my scissors to trim off the excess, and that just helped it kind of pop off that bottle, give it a little definition. And once I get that all trimmed down, I am going to go ahead once again, use that Zig 2-way glue pen to adhere my sentiment onto this vellum piece. And I find it helpful to use tweezers in an instance like this, and I'm kind of putting this at an angle. It's not exactly straight on here, but I think that's a lot of fun. So once I get that sentiment all adhered to my little label that I'm creating, I am going to adhere it onto my champagne bottle, once again using the Zig 2-way glue pen. I find this glue pen very handy and it sticks well. It's something I reach for quite a bit. So once I get this all in position, I am going to use the Cue the Confetti stamp set to add a sentiment to the front of this card. And I'm using this We're Poppin' Bottles for You. I love how these sentiments coordinate so well with the bottles of bubbly. You could use so many of these sentiments with the bottles of bubbly, and they're great for any kind of celebration. This would be great for like a retirement. Some of those situations are kind of hard to think of, products to use, but I think this is appropriate for any type of celebration. So I've positioned that in my mini Misty. I've gone ahead and stamped it onto my card base using the VersaFine Onyx Black Pigment ink. And then I am removing the adhesive from an Action Wobbler. Now, Action Wobblers are a great way to add movement to your card, and they come in a mini size too. This bottle is large enough to use the regular size. And I'm just removing the backer from the adhesive that sits on that kind of open part of the spring. And then this is the back part. This is the clear part that goes onto your card. I'm removing the backer sheets from that. And then I'm going to get it positioned onto my card and then press it down. You can see when I release, it's already moving. And this is a fun and easy way to add a little bit of movement to your card. Now, once again, I felt like I needed champagne shooting out the top of my bottle. So I am using some gold stickles for that. And I'm just kind of like squeezing it onto my project. And then I'm using my finger to kind of smear it out. And I don't like stuff on my fingers. I had to grab a baby wipe like almost immediately. But I sacrificed a finger today for the sake of my card. So to finish it off, I am just adding some Pretty Pink Posh clear droplets with some glossy accents, and then I'm adding my cork on with some foam adhesive, and there is my second card that moves. So we have a couple of cards that move today, and I realize that these are kind of the simplest, or what I would consider some of the simplest types of interactive or moving cards. There are a lot of other moving cards. In fact, I've linked a bunch of ideas and inspiration for you for interactive cards over on the Coordinating in Touch blog post. So be sure you go over there and check it out. But I just love that these are perfect for any celebration. And that party bundle has so much in it that I'm going to get a lot more cards out of it as well. So there you have it, 2 very simple cards that move, which make them a lot of fun. As always, I will link the featured products in the description at YouTube, but head on over to the In Touch blog because I'll have more information over there, a complete list of supplies, more still shots, and more inspiration for interactive and moving cards. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our video tutorials. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.